Hello and welcome, everybody. So we are here with Fons Schuurmans today to discuss the topic, which is the topic name is Introduction to Ad Tech. Hello, Fons. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good as well. Thank you. So I would like to first give a little bit of introduction about him. So he's working as a solution consultant at Xandr in Berlin. As an edtech solution consultant, he has experience working both with large agency and a publisher in DACH regions. Fons, please share with us more about edtech.
Of course. I'll start by sharing my screen. There we go. All right. So first of all, welcome everyone. Very excited to be here. As Urvashi said, my name is Fons. I'm from Holland. Moved to Berlin 3 years ago and started working for Xandr then. Yeah, we're very excited to the people that we can be here today. We already had a couple of conversations, interesting conversations before at the open discussion tables, and I would definitely urge all of you, if you're still interested after this speaker slot, to join us with me or one of my colleagues. We have several open roles, which I think are great opportunities to join our company, which I'll tell you more about later. And my colleagues who are here are Sebastian, who's also a hiring manager, Ilaria, who's involved with recruiting at Xandr. There's Aline, and also Max will be joining later. So I'll start off with a quick introduction about myself, who I am, what I'm doing at the company. Then I'll tell you what Xandr does, and I'll illustrate what we're doing by taking you into our technology. And that part of the presentation is called Inside a Real-Time Bidding Auction. That will be followed up by Q&A and a discussion of our open roles. All right. So first off, a quick introduction about myself. I graduated 4 years ago in business information management in Rotterdam. And from there, I moved to Berlin in Germany. Didn't speak the language, was very new here. And what's quite special is actually that 3 years ago, I went to the tech job fair in Berlin in 2018. And this is actually the place where I found my job at Xandr. So it's quite a special moment for me that now 3 years later, I'm back and I can tell you all about my experience up till now and hopefully convince you a little that Xandr is a great company to work for. And it also goes to show that this tech job fair that we're very grateful to be a part of actually gets people jobs. All right. So Xandr, there's a very big chance that you've never heard of Xandr before. Xandr is a company that's mostly in B2B transactions involved. So you knowing us is that unless you have experience in our industry is small. I would say, however, that the chance is much larger that you have encountered our technology already today, on this very day. If you've navigated to any of your favorite news sites or any blogs today, there's a large chance that you have encountered our technology. You may wonder, how is that I've encountered your technology? And that is something I'll explain you during the course of this presentation. And that should get you a good idea of what it is that we do here at Xandr, and yeah, how you could potentially fill a role there as well. So what is it that Xandr does? When I have to describe Xandr in one sentence, I'd say Xandr is a full stack ad tech company, which offers one of the biggest marketplaces in the world for online advertising. So let's deconstruct that a little. Ad tech stands for advertising technology. And biggest marketplace means that we have a platform where we work both with publishers and advertisers on the other side to fill advertisement space. Now, I understand that my explanation still doesn't make a lot of sense, probably. it doesn't ring a bell yet, and that's exactly why in the next slides I'll try to give you a better understanding of what it is that we do. Because to be honest, it's still quite difficult to explain to others what does Xandr do without talking for 10 minutes, and that's exactly why it's perfect that we have a speaking slot today. All right. So we start with the basics. So what is digital advertising? You see there's all these different categories where it's possible as an advertiser to advert and to send out your advertisements to. And these different categories, we cover a bunch of them. So what does Xandr do? We do native ads, audio ads, display ads, connected TV ads, mobile ads, so in-app ads, and email ads. And what we don't do are search ads, influencer ads, or social media ads. So social media ads are reserved to our social media competitors like Facebook, like YouTube, and they keep their platform also locked for outside advertisers. So we operate on the open internet. A little bit more about the company. So Xandr Worldwide, we are a global corporation. We have 59 offices, over 1,900 employees, and we're headquartered in New York City. In the EMEA region, we have a headquarters in London, and we also have offices in Australia, Japan, Singapore, and India. Then today is, of course, the Berlin Tech Job Fair. So what we're focusing on is mainly our region and the roles that are available here. We do, of course, have roles available outside of the DACH region. We'll be happy to talk to you about that as well. But not all of us are as knowledgeable at what's happening there. But please feel free to join our discussion tables afterwards so you can ask your questions then. So Xandr Central Europe, that is the DACH region, plus Poland. So that is Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Poland. That's the market that I work in and that we are responsible for. And I'm based in Berlin. We have offices also in Hamburg and Zurich. I think a fun fact is that even though we have 55, 56 colleagues at the moment, we're a very diverse bunch of colleagues. I just did accounting yesterday, and I found out that we have 15 different nationalities. So that shows that you would join an international team, and not just our team is international, and but also the teams abroad in other offices. And I think a good thing to mention is that we do a lot of collaboration between the different offices as well. And just at the bottom, you can see there's a lot of different customers we work with in our region. Most of them are maybe unknown because they're big agencies, but you recognize names like Microsoft or eBay, who are global brands that we work with and help, in this case, with monetizing their inventory. So that's about the company. That's a bit like global, so stating some facts. Right now, we get to the actual content, and that is explaining what do we do at Xandr. So yeah, my parents, when I tried to explain it to my parents, I've tried it a number of times in the last years. And every time they don't understand what I do, so they think that I work at the internet. That's what they think I do, and I can try to explain what it is that I do, but it's just too complicated for them. What I'll tell you today, we're at a tech job fair, and I assume you have an interest in tech and some affinity with it, is what we actually do. And this is what we call life of an ad call. And that's basically what happens when a user types a URL in his browser, loads a website, and gets shown an advertisement. What happens when this ad call is sent from the page? All right, let's get started. So maybe before we actually get started, I think it's maybe cool to mention that your onboarding period at Xandr, if one of you decides to pursue a job and lands a job, is that we have a very extensive onboarding program. And this onboarding program lasts between 6 to 8 weeks, where we take all the time for you to learn a new topic every week And at the end of when you've learned the topic from experts, then every week you do a presentation. And life of an ad call inside a real-time bidding auction is the first week when you join Xandr. And what I'll present to you today is a very, well, it's not a simplified version, but it's a dressed down version, let's say. And I would say just to get started. So, as I said, what happens is that when a user, let's say you go to, I don't know, a website like CNN.com, or let's say in Berlin, you have the Berliner Zeitung. You type it in your browser, and the moment you press enter, there's a lot that's happening. And a lot of actions that get triggered. So the first thing that happens is that a publisher like CNN, what they want to do is sell the space they have available on their website to interested advertisers. So basically, you as a user, and to show you relevant content. So what they need to do for that is to the moment that they know that you're going to be on their website, so you typing in the URL, is to send an ad request to their tech party that they work with, in order for them to send information about you as a user that can be used for advertisers to target. So when CNN says, okay, hey, we have a user here, and he's looking on this page, this is his IP. So from the IP, we can determine the location of the user. We send information, for example, about the user agent. So what is the browser language that is set, so that we know, okay, we should show an ad in this language. And what happens is that this gets sent to us, Xandr in this case. Let's assume we have a lot of competition in the space, but let's assume that they work with us and they send this ad request to us in order to see, hey, is there a buyer for this user to buy this advertising space? So what you could see is that we also send the cookie ID. The UUID2 is what we call this. And what we do with this is that we send this to our real-time data providers, and we check if there's any client data. So let's see if we already know this user. We, of course, only do this when users have consented to do that. So, you know, the cookie banners on websites, when you press OK, and you've selected us, it means that you consent to us using your data. And this is, in the end, what this is being used for. So what happens is, ad request gets sent. This happens instantly, and in milliseconds, we pass this on to our database to check, hey, do we have first-party data from this user? First-party data means that the publisher, for example, CNN, that they own data which they put on our platform, which advertisers can use to target. It could also be that there's other providers which have data about this user, and we check very quickly if that is the case. Then another use case is that we check this, that we send this information to real-time data providers, and there we give more information, for example, about contextual data. Contextual means what is the context that this user is in. Is this user, for example, checking out a newspaper article about an airline? Maybe that's interesting to an advertiser. What we then do is send a bid request to our buy-side clients, so advertisers, and see if they have an interest. We also send it to other partners in our industry, and then we check, okay, maybe who's interested and who wants to bid. Then we collect the bids. So the advertisers could be IKEA, any other well-known advertisers that you know. They say, okay, we would like to bid on this user, and we place our bid. We think, what is the price that this user is worth to me? So what then actually happens? We hold an auction. The moment you press a URL, and between the moment you press a URL and the first ad you get shown, you can see a lot of different things happen, and an auction is held by different parties to be able to show you an ad. And when we determine the winner of this ad, what we do is we send the advertisement back to the page, and the page then pulls the image from a server where the image is stored, and then an advertisement is shown on the page. And this is very much a short version of what it is that we do, but I hope this gives you a bit of an idea of all the different processes that happen and what we are involved in as a company. We will be happy to take any questions after the session, of course, because I understand this is a lot of detail and that you may have any questions about that. But you can see how many different parties are involved and how complex our industry can be. Then, yeah, as said, auctions run within milliseconds, and yeah, close to 12 billion transactions can be impressions. So impression is when an advertisement gets served to a page, get transacted daily at peak through our platform. That gives you a bit of an idea of the size and the data we have available. So then I think that was a lot of input. Then I just want to tell you a little bit more about, okay, what is it like as a solutions consultant? I can, of course, tell you from my experience what it is that we do. But on this slide, you can see that, yeah, we also have an account manager here with us today. So if you're interested in hearing about what an account manager does at Xandr, I can tell you a bit about it, but it's better to hear it from them. We have one available at the table later on. Please, if you want to know about any of the other positions, please join us at the discussion tables. So what I like about my job a lot is that it's very diverse and it gives you a lot of freedom to develop in the direction that you want. Of course, there's day-to-day tasks, which I'm also actually quite happy with. So on a daily basis, we work in account teams. As a solutions consultant, you always work with a commercial account manager. And as a solutions consultant, you're sort of an integration specialist, a technical project manager, technical account manager. So it's all in one, this role. And with your account manager, you form an account team. And that means you're connected to certain clients and you work with the clients to grow their accounts, to see what needs they have, if there's any technical projects you want to undertake with them, and how our product can be improved. So you run tests with beta versions of new products, etc. Of course, a part of the day-to-day task is also doing troubleshooting when clients face troubles with our product, strategizing how to grow new accounts, but also an important aspect is teach and learn. When you join Xandr, you not only get a manager, but you also get a mentor. And with your manager, you will discuss certain things, but with your mentor as well. So with your mentor, you can think about, okay, what kind of new skills do you want to learn? You can definitely take time for that. I moved to Germany without speaking German. I learned German. I wasn't able to do anything in SQL yet. I learned SQL. So these are the kind of things that you get time for and that you really should take advantage of when you join Xandr. And then on the right side, it's just to show the variety of different projects I have done in the last 3 years. And there's travel involved. There's internal initiatives involved where I'm involved with employee well-being initiatives. I'm involved with onboarding data of one of publishers on our platform. I've had discussions with our top buyers on the changing identity landscape within our industry. You may have heard that the cookie is disappearing. So there's all these different topics that I've been involved with. And of course, today I'm able to talk to you here and try to make you enthusiastic for what it is that we do. And having said that, I see that we are almost running out of time. And I wanted to show you the open roles we have available in Germany at the moment. These roles are available in our region. You can see most of them are available in both Hamburg and Berlin. On the Xandr.jobs page, you can find other open roles in different regions as well. If you're interested, please do not hesitate to visit our virtual tables. After this session, especially directly after, we'll be there ready to answer any questions you may have. I talked mainly about solutions consulting today and what we do as a company, but we also have commercial roles available, technical support roles, and product roles. So to sum that up, I think that was my presentation for now, and I think we have a little bit of time left for Q&A.
Thank you so much, Fons, for this wonderful and informative talk about the EdTech. I personally feel it's very interesting to know all about the cookies and stuff. So I'm sure that everybody enjoyed. Let's get into the question and answer. The first question, I'll put it on the stage. Given that the advertising is a very price-sensitive industry, doesn't that reduce the marketplace to those players who can afford a lower margins?
Yeah. So if I understand the question correctly, I definitely it's a good point that advertising is a price-sensitive industry, but we are here. We are a platform here, and that means that for every ad request that we see, that ad call that I just talked about, we really check. Okay, what are the bids available on what advertisers want to buy this impression. And yes, it's price sensitive in the sense that yes, we look at price. So usually the highest price wins the auction. So in that case, yes, I missed the last part of the question, but with regards to the first part of the question, price sensitivity, yes, it's definitely a part of our industry.
Thank you so much. The next question is, if the user doesn't consent sharing the cookie data, then what type of an ad will be served, considering that the advertiser might not want to spend showing an ad to a non-value add user?
That's a very interesting question, and a good one. It's actually that's something we're working on at the moment, of course, like for some years already. So what we launched actually is a domain where it's called simple at Nexus, where we do not process any user specific data. And I think the assumption that a cookieless user is an uninteresting user is not correct, because there's a lot of other things we can know about the user. So we can, for example, know something about the context the user is in. So imagine a user is on a reading a newspaper article about an airline or some touristic destination. What we know then is that the context of this page, like there's data providers out there which know which can read, they scrape these kind of things, and for certain keywords, they know, okay, this user is in a context where an airline may want to advertise, and then it doesn't matter who the user is. We don't need this information. The context is already enough and can be valuable to an advertiser in that case.
Cool. Thank you so much. I think one last more question we can take. What do you like the most about your job at Xandr?
That's a great question as well. So I'm someone who's very much a people person, and I really love diversity. So what I love about my job is that I have the freedom to really shape my job in a way that's not only how I like it, but of course important to what's also good to the company. But that I have the freedom to initiate any initiative which I think is good for the company. For example, this well-being initiative that I talked about, that's something I'm super passionate about, and the freedom that Xandr cares about this kind of thing, giving me time and budget to develop initiatives, is something that I really like. And yeah, that's in short, yeah, what I like most, not only about my job, but mainly about what I like at being at Xandr. Xandr values this.
Cool. Thank you so much. Well, that says a lot. I would like to now say thank you so much to you, especially for taking your time off and give us this a beautiful run through of the EdTech introduction. And I'm sure that all of our listeners has a lot to learn from this as well. And if you have further questions, please feel free to contact him via LinkedIn. He has a LinkedIn page, and also the exhibitors today. So you can go to the booth and ask them and meet and have the queries that you have.
Thank you very much. Thank you that we could be here today.
Yeah, thank you so much, and see you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.